So we're on vacation, so this would be a little bit of a different vibe in this video, but we thought it'd still be fun to do this reaction.
I'm ready for it. I've been excited. I have been all Sister Wives all week. I read the book.
On the flight here, you read the book pretty fast. Did you like it?
I thought it was good. I'm sad for where they are now. In their lives with what they were writing the book about then.
Did just Cody write it, or did they all write it?
They all wrote it.
And
so we will discuss it on our podcast called Shrink Wrapped, which has been on hiatus, but we will be getting back to it in the new year as our New Year's resolution.
Yeah, so I would say we haven't done it since, like, what, March? Shrink Wrapped?
I don't remember, but
there's a YouTube channel called Shrink Wrapped, and there's also, you can get it on podcasts everywhere, so you can see our old ones, but we'll start posting it on that in January.
All right, let's do this.
Help me understand that.
Manipulation, pouting, temper tantrums, just behavior.
I do think it's odd that everyone is getting in shape once they left each other. Like, Cody is in shape. Cody's fitter. Janelle's fitter, Christina's fitter. Like, they were like physically manifesting their feelings, all of them.
It's interesting. I guess I have two thoughts about it. The first is, yes, he's gotten way fitter over the last couple of years. And if you look online, there are a lot of people, like on Reddit, theorizing that he's on some kind of, testosterone or steroids or something, and that's why he's acting nuts the last couple of seasons.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is an interesting theory. And then I guess I should say, one of the things that I haven't ever talked about, because I don't want to be misinterpreted when I react to it, but there is it feels to me that a lot of people in the family are unhealthy, and it is interesting that as they exit the family, they seem to take better care of themselves. It's almost like they're stuck there, they're not motivated, they're dealing with this crazy husband, and so they don't have the ability to really take care of themselves. But as Christine once Christine decided to leave, then it's like she started investing in herself more.
I think Janelle too, and Madison. Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay.
This is Sister Wives One-on-One.
I was willing to see the error of my ways and then work to determine whether we were good with each other anymore.
Wow.
And so I expressed that. Baby.
That's okay.
Mary and I can work it out, maybe. I'm going like that with these three women, and it just rattles Christine. So there was something there, and it was right after that time. I had just shown them the plan.
What do you think? What is Suki thinking?
She's thinking he's full of it. She can't even contain herself. She pursed her lips.
Oh, he told you?
He told me.
Okay.
He said Christine had a very hard time with it.
Yeah.
And did not want Mary to reconcile with Cody.
That's what I was told too.
What did you say?
I didn't know this was connected to it, but I guess she was falling apart. She was at my house and she was falling apart, and I feel so bad. I don't want to talk bad about her,
Who
but
is she?
I just saw her kind of flipping out, and I didn't know what it was about.
Do you think if Christine didn't object that Mary and Cody would have gotten back together? They would have reconciled and they would have had a little bit more of a relationship?
Yeah. Because when Cody says and thinks that type of stuff, it usually happens.
Wow. That could have changed the whole trajectory of Mary's life.
Yeah. It sucks, right?
Okay, Robin is blind. Like, she wasn't part of any of that conversation. She's like, that's what I was told. That's what Cody told her.
I'm confused about the whole thing. Cody told her what?
Cody told her what happened with Christine. So Robin clearly wasn't there. And then she was saying that Christine was at her house freaking out and she didn't know why. She didn't, ask her.
I'm confused.
The story is such a lie.
Hold on. What Cody is saying is that he had this moment with Mary, and he was thinking, I could reconcile with Mary.
And then he told his three other wives.
And Christine said no.
But then Robin said that's what she was told. So she was not there. she wasn't part of the 3 wives conversation, which is what Cody said he had. So it's clearly all fabricated. It's so annoying.
Okay, can I say something?
I'm so annoyed.
Okay. But okay, and let's just say that it's true. What he's saying is that he decided not to resolve the relationship with Mary because of what Christine said.
Because he does everything Christine says.
Which I guess to me that seems like the piece of this that doesn't fit the most is why is Cody making decisions about his relationships with the other wives based on what Christine says? Right? That doesn't make any sense.
Stupid or liar, Cody? Can I have a sip?
Because I have spent a lot of years full of hope, you know, really looking inward and figuring myself out and becoming a better person, and just hoping that that was good enough, but it's not. Like he actually said those words to me, that that's not good enough. It's hurtful, you know. It's
I have 2 thoughts. The first thought is this is outrageous to me that Cody is saying to his wife, you need to be a better person if I'm going to engage in a healthy relationship with you. I think it's outrageous that he's not focusing on himself, and instead he's telling her that she has to be a different person. And I also think that I want to talk out of both sides of my mouth, because it is a healthier approach to take on Mary's part to say, okay, how do I want to be as a partner, and then work on. It's a good thing that she has put this effort into improving herself. I guess I hate that she's doing it just in an effort to please Cody. You know what I'm saying? That part feels unhealthy.
And I feel like that's unhealthy, and I feel like 2 years later, like after she's probably settled everything in her mind, that he brings this up now.
Yeah.
It seems like so mean.
Yeah,
it seems so mean.
It's not even manipulative, it's just mean. It's just ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the narcissism for him to be in the position of saying you all need to change, right? He's got gripes about all of them, but he's not changing himself.
I think with our family, raising all our kids together, and just having all those amazing moments, was so good. But you do also have to realize that as they grow and they start their own lives, the adults are figuring out who we are within this family as well.
Because you guys were so young when you got married.
Oh, we were so.
And that's a really good point, and I think it's a piece of it that people forget, is that your evolution as a person doesn't stop when you turn 20 or whatever, right? There are different phases of your life, and you continue to grow. And in a relationship, you have to make sure that you're growing intentionally together. And to me, that's the big issue here, is that Cody's grown one way with one wife and allowed everybody else to grow differently.
It was like Janelle was a blessing of dilution. It diluted this relationship I had with Mary. And
it's so interesting. It is so interesting because the book is so different from that. They talk about how romantic and in love they were in the book, him and Mary. And Mary's perspective was so different than his.
Is there any part of you that feels bad for Cody in that he clearly, they're showing the family like it was wonderful. Mary's saying it was wonderful. We were so in love. And he's saying it was a hard marriage. I wanted Janelle there for dilution. Do you feel any part of you feel bad for Cody, that because of his faith or because of his ego or because of whatever, he forced himself to stay in that relationship?
And at 19, you're not.
Yeah.
They got married at 19 and then added another wife. Instead of being able to just break up, this is wrong. Yeah. Interesting.
Bring Christine in, and that seemed to calm it, because we started having children and we seemed to have this sort of more unified focus, even though the strain was perpetual. This was happening from the day or the week or the month or whatever after me and Mary.
Just as a separate thing, that pattern of sort of a relationship is pretty common, where if things aren't good to start, sometimes relationships will survive because you end up being focused on the kids, right? And the whole thing is, if you look at their relationship, probably over the last 18 years or so, they've just been focused on raising children and not on each other. Which that happens, by the way, that happens in a monogamous family too. If you don't focus on the relationship with your spouse.
You know, what time we cooked, what we cooked, if we didn't clean up well enough, oh my gosh. Just everything had to be perfect. It was just very, very stressful. It was very stressful.
And this was Mary, right, who wanted everything kind of that way.
Yes. It's just, yes. That was the biggest thing, is I never...
It seems weird because I feel like Mary now avoids all conflict with Cody. She's like silent in any kind of family discussion.
But because she has no power. But at that time she was wife number one.
Oh,
so
it's power.
And she was the one that was legally married to him. It sounds like she was a bully. Like when you read the book, you can Mary's a bully, and yeah.
Interesting.
Christine was part of. She's basically royalty in our church. And not fair. I look back and it wasn't fair for me to go, oh, this will make me cool in our church, you know?
So was your ego?
Oh, I was a polygamist. It's all ego, baby.
He's so gross. She was a royalty.
Wait, hold on. I think the self-awareness here is good.
It's all ego, baby. My ego is so good.
I'm a polygamist. It's all ego, baby. The fact that he has that level of awareness, I think, it's more awareness than I thought he had. I agree with him. It is all ego. I think he has a bloated ego. But if you had asked me, I would have said that he wouldn't have had that level of awareness.
Well, all the fans all talk about Christine's royalty.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So he was
mom,
into her because he was...
Yeah.
God, but how sad would that be if you're Christine?
It's so sad.
And you know that's why he wanted her. Or he
In
wanted
the
you.
book, she just had like a major crush on him. And he liked her too. And Mary was envious of Christine in the book.
She's treated you like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship you have with her. And that's the reason I'm angry. That's the reason I'm pissed off. Is because you never tried to have really good a relationship with these other people. And that's the reason I'm pissed off.
That's not true.
And it's just...
It's really not... He doesn't care about the other people. It's just Robin. Because, like...
Right.
He only cares about Robin. Right? Because he's given Mary the Heisman.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't care about Janelle. And like, from reading the book, Janelle and him have had a pretty rocky history. And also, they're basically business partners, not lovers, from the book. Although, I don't know how that's possible when you have 6 kids. Right? But
I don't know. I agree with you that he's only trying to protect Robin. You know, because I used to sell shoes at Nordstrom, I noticed that Robin's wearing Tory Burch's. That is interesting, right? Versus, like, she has the fancy house. Those are pretty expensive little sandals she's got there compared to what everybody else. Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See, look at that.
I think this is one of the saddest conversations I've ever been in.
It's interesting that, like, the other sister wives didn't say to, like, continue the conversation without Cody. Like, they had to run and follow him out. Like, they should have their own relationships with her, not with Cody. And they got up as soon as Cody left instead of, like, continuing the conversation. And which is, like, if you read in the book, that's all they want is to have that relationship with each other. But they didn't. They just, like, walked off like mean girls.
Right. I thought it was also interesting that in that whole fight, Cody's screaming, none of the women show any emotion or any reaction to it. Right? They all just sit there quietly while he just bellows. Which I'm sure is probably a picture of what most fights look like in that household. Is that he is the kind of aggressor and they just sit there passively until the storm blows over. You know?
Oof, that was really intense. That was really hard. How were you able to...
Side note, I do not believe that Christine thought it was so hard.
I don't think Robin and Mary did either. They were crying like Enzo does when he's fake crying. It's like a fake. You know what I mean?
To remain so calm during this time?
Oh, just take a minute to breathe for a minute. That was so hard. It was so hard to watch, so hard to be there.
Gosh.
I don't know, he hasn't yelled like that before.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do.
How did you feel when he said all those things?
So shocked. I'm like...
Okay, we've seen him yell like that a couple of times this season. I don't believe he's never yelled like that before. In other seasons, have you seen him? Is that true that he never raises his voice?
Well, I don't feel like he ever does. Probably because they're like never together. You know, so like if I was really irritated with you, but I had a hunk somewhere else to go, I'd be like, "You bug."
Yeah,
Peace.
I'm glad there's no hunk that you can run off to.
So Christine feels threatened by Janelle as well?
Not now. Because I spent 2 years listening to...
It's just so much about ego, right? Like he just can't. He's so frustrated by the fact that Janelle and Christine are close. He feels like I talked about this before. He feels betrayed by it because he just can't believe that people would not be on his side. Like, did you see that at the end of that fight when Janelle went over and gave Christina a hug, and he goes, "I just don't understand that." Right? He can't believe that those two would be aligned, and he feels like it's against him. I think there's outrage because it's not. Right?
She's not supporting him.
Not supporting him.
I'm really struggling because I can see his leg muscles on his calves in those pants. Like, how tight are those pants?
Yeah, it's like a wetsuit.
So who do you trust?
Well, I think that's obvious.
Then say it.
God, that'll start just pissing me off.
I think it's obvious, but it will start pissing me off.
Yeah, and then he goes,
Let me have a cup of coffee.
Okay, so here's the question. Because there was this dynamic between him and Suki, right? And you can see him he's already trying to manipulate or maneuver her. Would he treat her this way if she were male? Because to me, that's him trying to intimidate her.
What is he?
That'll piss, right? He's trying to get aggressive so that she doesn't ask hard questions.
Oh.
Right?
I mean, I follow your logic, yes.
Do you disagree? What do you
No. I just think I think he's so gross.
Watch again, just watch.
Then say it.
God, that'll start just pissing me off.
It's totally him manipulating and trying to maneuver and intimidate her.
He's so gross.
We can discuss that another time.
Okay. Coming up.
Okay, wait.
Has Christine treated you badly?
What are we discussing another time? You said, I think it's pretty obvious who I trust. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then say it. I'm confused. Like, you already said that's obvious. So then why did we discuss it another
I'm confused why Suki said okay.
Like it was a sacrifice to love her. No wife wants to hear that. No wife wants to feel that.
I've
I feel
heard
like
him.
Mary's
I've
being
asked-
understanding lately. Like, she's been understanding of Christine there.
I think Mary has separated herself from all of this emotionally.
Yeah.
Right? Like she wouldn't be able to talk about this. The fact that she is so stoic I haven't seen her show any emotion this whole season, and I feel like she's just. It feels like she's done or emotionally. It feels like to me emotionally broken as it relates to the family. So she has to just distance herself and act like she doesn't care at all. You know.
About the other wives too. Not Robin. He never complained about Robin.
Yeah.
But he would complain about Mary and Janelle all the time to me. I figured we were just complaining to each other because isn't that what people do?
Yeah.
It's more people.
What do you think? Is it a problem that they were complaining about each other?
It makes it seem more like siblings to me, versus like yes, I think it like was probably toxic. Like they were all best friends, like being like, did you know what Janelle did? She like didn't bring anything for Christmas dinner, and I had to do everything. You know, so I don't think it was healthy, but I mean, it sounds more like siblings and like.
Yeah, it seems normal to me. It's a normal impulse, but it seems damaging.
No one complained about Robin though.
But that was funny.
And even Robin was like, no, my relationship. I mean, there was just walls there. It wasn't like Christine was bad to me. So I feel like Cody just is making stuff up.
I think a good rule of thumb is. It is normal to speak negative. It's normal to gossip, but the rule, like especially in a family or especially in an organization at work, if you are going to speak negatively about somebody else, it should be your obligation to go say what you said about that person to that person. Do you know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, you just end up splitting each other. Right, so if Christine wants to talk about Robin and complain about Robin doing X, Y, or Z, then it's on Christine to also go back to Robin and say, hey, I've been frustrated about that thing.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, we had to cut it short. We had to put the kids to bed, and then when Allison was reading to the kids, then she fell asleep. So now you're stuck with me the last 10 minutes of this solo. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's finish this up.
Is it just that it doesn't work anymore for her? Is it as simple as that, and it has nothing to do with you, Cody? It's just that Christine is a different person now, period.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it that she's like, listen, I'm not a fit here, I gotta move on.
That you can accept.
Yeah, but what she's actually doing is broke my baby's heart. I don't respect him. Coward. I don't respect him. Picks favorites. I don't respect him. Just name it. She's been talking to me.
Right, so it's all about respect for him. And he has no ability to take personal accountability for any of it. Like all the things that he listed, I think you could objectively look at it and go, these are truths. But he struggles with it because it implies that he's not being respected.
Look, breaking up a marriage when you're not in love, I get it. But
But he doesn't break up the marriage with Mary when he's not in love. I think because it's his religion, I think because it's his reputation, and I think those things are more important to him than Mary's emotions, than Mary's experience.
Assuage her guilt. She has blamed me for everything, including to her children and some of Janelle's kids. And as a result, combined with COVID issues, those relationships have been pulled away from me, including, and this is the one I don't understand, Janelle. But she's trying.
He blames Christine for Janelle pulling away from him. He blames Christine for the dissolution of his marriage. He blames Christine for the poor relationships with his kids. And he blames Christine for the poor relationship with Janelle. This is when we talk about narcissism, what you're seeing here is the total inability to recognize his role in any of it. Total inability to recognize anybody else's perspective, right? Like the angle is always from his view, how this is hurting me. I'm trying to think of how to articulate that well, but I think that's the distinction between somebody who is selfish and self-centered, right? They are mean and it's all about them, but they can at least see the view or the perspective of somebody else. What you're seeing here with Cody is there's a total, he's just unaware of how the rest of the world might view this. He cannot get there intellectually.
Through, but I think that it's awesome that we can all be here to show that at the end of this all, we are still a family.
It's very apparent how awkward we all are, but Janelle and her kids are on one side and Robin and Cody are on the other, and
I think this scene shows the adults to be exceptionally immature. Like I think the discussion about this is, whose side are you on? What does this? I think that the typical discussion is, whose side are you on? Why is Cody acting this way? Why is Christine acting this way? But really, I think is important here is that all of the adults have decided to make it about them and their frustration versus making it about the kids, right? McKelty has set this up because McKelty needs closure. McKelty needs to know that things are going to be okay. And because these adults can't get out of their own way, they are punishing the children, right? This should have been a very intentional effort to message to the kids that how the family is going to interact in the future. The family is never going to be the same, fine, but decide, how do you want to talk to each other? How do you want to treat each other? How do you want to interact? And model that in this goodbye party. The idea that you just separate like this is insane to me.
I don't know why am I saying goodbye if she doesn't want, it's like,
All right, let's just deal with this issue. If that's how Robin really feels, if that's Robin's real concern, wouldn't it make sense that Robin would call Christine and talk to her about it? Wouldn't it make sense for Robin to go over to Christine's house? They could meet in the backyard and work it through so that when the kids are involved, that there's a cohesive interaction. Like this idea that they have these big, uncomfortable conversations and then retreat to their houses and never talk until the next big, uncomfortable conversation. That's the reason why this family breaks up. Why are they not interacting more frequently? Why is this all sort of, behind closed doors, that they're feeling frustration with each other but not actually dealing with it?
I just want that kind of love.
Yeah, but who would be a celebrity crush? Who's your type?
And I do not think that that's unreasonable. I think she deserves that. And that is unquestionably, except for the hair. I think that guy had crazy hair. I think that after what she's been through with Cody, I can imagine that all she really wants is to be the apple of somebody's eye, to really feel like she's loved and cared for. And not like she has to just be obedient to somebody to show respect.
Respects you. She talks about how she respects the marriage and your covenant that you have with each other. What is your relationship? How do you describe your relationship with Robin? Do I have time?
No, I'm not going to talk about her.
You don't want to talk about her?
No.
That's an interesting response. You know he's prepped for this. You know he knows the question's coming. Why would he not want to talk about her? I mean, what's he gonna say?
Can we play the clip and then you can react to it?
Sure. Maybe.
Next time on Sister Wives One-on-One.
Is Robin the favorite wife?
Wow. I guess we'll see next episode what he says. Yeah, I think the family's broken. I think it will stay broken. I think Janelle's gonna be gone. I think Mary's gonna be gone. I think it's Cody's fault. So, thanks for listening. Sorry for the bad audio and the bad lighting and we're on vacation. So, thanks for listening.